Loda's in here this morning. Good morning, Joe. Hi, Joe.
Bill forgot to do something for his wife.
Can I dial from here?
Yeah. You can 1315 first, right? Smitty here?
Oh, yeah.
1315?
He's in the dark over there.
Well, that's if I'm dialing 315.
Oh.
Yeah, no, you still have to do the zip code. Yeah.
Let's remember there's a 3-hour time.
There's no
Hit 5,000.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to hit 5,000?
No, after.
No, afterward.
After?
When you get the
What's that
second
for?
dial tone, that's a super secret code, by the way.
I never dial this, so I dial 1.
One.
Area code.
The number.
How to dial a phone with Keeler in the morning.
It's weird.
And then when you hear the second dial tone,
And then hit 5,000.
000.
Okay, there
In
we
case
go.
you ever want to make a long-distance call here.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling the New York Mets ticket office at Citi Field.
You can't do this trade!
Don't do it!
Don't do it!
I'm
with you,
7
man.
days a week to purchase Mets tickets.
I'm with you 100%. I'm
Oh,
so
my
scared.
goodness.
I'm so
They're
scared.
They
the
might do
dumbest
it.
thing ever. They're not going to do it.
Yeah, why would we get rid of, everybody,
The only
every
pitcher
team that
you
you look
have,
at
really.
every year that's a good team that doesn't win the World Series, you look at them and you go, they didn't have enough pitching. They just didn't have enough pitching.
Well, you're talking about
Why would we do
you're
this?
You're talking about a pitcher that could be a Hall of Fame pitcher. I mean, I realize it's very premature, but you're talking about somebody who has the potential to be something really special.
Yeah.
Who already is. And I get it. Oh, you give him
And to
up, you
pair
get
him
all
with
this, you get all
DeGrom and what Steven Matz did at the end of last year, I mean,
You got
Andrew's
all the
rolling
makings.
his-
I'm
of
just
a-
saying you have to hold on to him.
You have all the makings of a real competitive baseball team. All you have to do is prevent injuries and take care of a few other issues, and we're there. I'm telling you.
We could use a bat, but I mean, we got Cano. There's other guys out there that we don't. The world, our season does not. The sun does not set on this. JT
I'm glad it's
Realmuto
not just the Yankees,
and
though,
Miguel
being dumb.
Andujar.
Yeah,
What do you
I know.
mean? You're never dumb.
No,
The
we
Yankees are never dumb.
They are. They are. Like, I would never have gotten rid of Ronald Torreyes. I would have stuck him at second, moved Gleiber to short, and then it would have been problem solved because Ronald Torreyes has got a decent bat. He gets hits. He's a hit maker.
Okay.
And he's a good fielder. He can play anywhere. Why get
Yeah.
rid of him? You're not paying him a lot. Just keep him, Plus,
Joe,
I just got an autograph, and there it goes.
Joe, by the way, Joe, by the way, has lost. Well, it could make it more rare.
Yeah,
That's
like
true,
if
I
he goes
guess.
to another
Yeah.
team and does phenomenally.
Joe has lost over 70 pounds
78.
since the first of the year.
Yeah, February.
What'd you have for
incredible.
dinner last night?
All right, so last
Let's
night
talk,
I had
'cause this is
black
more
and-
By the way,
important.
I'll be losing about 70 pounds over the next 2 days in preparation for my colonoscopy.
Oh,
my
yeah. I
God.
keep forgetting
Instantly,
about
too.
that intentionally.
Yeah.
But then,
So these two guys will tell you. From a guy I saw eat for dinner last night, tuna fish and asparagus was his dinner.
See, asparagus is good, but watch out for the kidney stones with that, and it
I'm
smells
so
when you go to
dreading
pee.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh well,
that
that's everyone
I've
knows
gotten
that
used
one.
to.
Yeah.
But
What'd you
I
have for
had
dinner?
a 6-ounce blackened salmon with
6 ounce of
vegetable
fish was your main.
vegetable
It's actually a
pasta
lot.
and broccoli. And I did have a salad too with cucumbers. Now
So
I
you're
don't eat
eating
the
pasta
cucumber
too, which
seeds.
is different. Certainly
You
different
heard
than what
this,
I
yeah?
do.
He's working out all the time, so he
I
needs
know,
the carbs.
The
yeah.
cucumber seeds, you don't eat them. You don't eat the cucumber skin, the seeds. You don't eat tomato skin, don't eat tomato seeds. Our body can't process them. And what happens is you could end up with like diverticulitis or one of those things because of the seeds.
Well, I've been getting that.
So I
I
cut the
think
seeds out
some
of the
really
cucumbers.
painful stomach aches.
Yeah.
You know what's funny
So
is that
we'll find out on Friday when they go down that tube.
So is that why you're doing it? Because you're not 50
No,
yet.
huh? Okay, Joe. You got to be close to 50 now, aren't you?
I have a few more years there, Bill.
Not much though.
And there's new processes I'm hearing that they're studying, so you don't have to do this.
Okay, the birthday.
Well, I don't know what it is.
Okay. Oh, you mean
No,
the
colonoscopy.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
just trying to-
Well, they already have one, right?
I've been paying for research,
They already have one right now, but they're saying it's not as accurate. What's that, Davey?
no, he's just, we got
Okay.
our thing going. It's
Rachel.
communication.
Yeah. We're going to talk in a minute, so sit tight. We'll talk in a little bit with Rachel Sutherland from Fox News on the big fallout that happened between the Senate, the House, talking Democratic leaders, Schumer and Pelosi, and the president yesterday. It got pretty heated in there. And we'll talk about that coming up. I'm trying to see if I can find some of the audio, which I have here, and I'll get for you. Also, the Cohen sentencing review with Cohen. We'll talk to Tanya Powers about that. That stuff still, there's a lot going on right now with this whole thing. Some touting doom and gloom. Others are saying this is nothing. Nothing's going to happen here. Either way, it is a big distraction. Rachel Sutherland standing by right now, and that meeting with the president yesterday. Rachel, good morning. It got a little heated in the White House.
It really did. This was an extraordinary scene there with the president, House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, and Vice Prince sitting awkwardly in the background. I don't think he blinked once.
I don't think he did. I don't think a word came out of his mouth. He just sat there. I thought he had fallen asleep. He was completely still.
That was actually Madame Tussauds Mike Pence.
Wow.
I'm going to steal that. That's pretty good. No, he did not move. He did not. I mean, he was so awkward looking as they were bickering over the funding for the wall. I've never seen anything like this to have it play out in front of cameras. But look, we're not amateurs at this. Everyone's playing to their base. I don't think anyone regretted when they left that room, except for maybe Mike Pence, that the scene played out. Nancy Pelosi wants to come in strong as the potential House Speaker. Chuck Schumer wants to play to his base. President Trump obviously has his agenda, so I don't think this was an accident.
Well, and let's be honest, the cameras were there for a reason. The one who I think really plays to the camera, and it's obvious, is Schumer. Trump knows how to be. Trump acted as if there were no cameras in that room. That was a meeting we were just eavesdropping on. And Pelosi kind of felt like she was caught in the middle of all of it. But Schumer would smile. He looked at the cameras.
Yeah.
He was all in on this.
It's definitely, a guy from Brooklyn and a guy from Queens that were going to take it outside.
Yeah, no doubt. And something I found interesting, Rachel, is I have some friends, one on one side, one on the other. One on the right came in and said, boy, did Pelosi and Schumer get their you-know-what's handed to them today by the president. And the one on the other side was, man, they crushed Trump today in the White House. So this goes right back to, depending on where you are, is how you perceived what happened yesterday.
Exactly, and I think this is also a preview of what we can expect over the next coming 2 years with the divided government. This is is fascinating, and I don't think much is going to get done. But we'll see. The deadline is December 21st at 11:59. Someone has to blink or come to some kind of an agreement in order to keep the government from partially shutting down. This would affect the Homeland Security Department and some other departments. Obviously, it would affect national parks. I have a call in to the people who run the National Christmas Tree. Haven't gotten a call back on whether or not that would be unplugged. So you definitely have the optics at the holidays, which wouldn't be great.
Right.
That is so dumb. Unplugging the National Christmas Tree. Give me a break.
Well,
can't afford the power.
And what was even just more immature yesterday is they were both, Trump would say, you shut the government down, and Schumer would be like, no, you shut the government down. And then the president's like, okay, I'm going to shut the government down, and I'm going to take credit for it if you don't give.
But because of what you did was so bad.
Because of what you did. I mean,
I'm sorry someone didn't say nanny, nanny, boo-boo.
I know. However, it's interesting. I always think that our politics are so bad until you head across the pond and you start to see what they're going over, what they sound like in Great Britain. It's crazy
in Parliament,
there.
They'll get all heated, and barrels will get thrown and stuff like that.
All right. Well, it's interesting. I don't know that we accomplished anything during this conversation, Rachel, but we certainly reviewed what
we were entertained.
We'll keep you updated.
Thank you so much. Rachel Sutherland from Fox News. It's crazy, right?
That is crazy.
Did you see any of the video of that yesterday?
I heard a lot of the audio,
I did not see
and I saw
video.
some video, but
just crazy.
I've been watching a lot of videos of them being turned into puppets and jabber. Have you seen them?
Oh, no,
those are more entertaining.
I was also one person said, "Wow, look at Mike Pence. He looks like Elf on the Shelf."
I have to tell you I watched Saturday Night Live last night. What does that say? Fight House. Oh, the Fight House. That's the New York Post headline today.
That is
front
good.
page.
There's Pence.
The Fight House. Pence is
hands
just
on his knees, just
sitting there. It's like it's almost as if he's thinking, "This is so bad. If I were in this seat, I would never be doing this."
He's probably also thinking, "God, can we just focus on the Space Force, please?"
Or I have to go pee. I gotta get out of here. Should I get up now,
gone before
or
the
should I
meeting.
wait? Why didn't I go before the meeting?
Do you see the top?
No.
The four score, and it says four sore, and Fight House.
Wow. Crazy. Coming up, we'll talk to Tanya Powers on the Cohen sentencing. We have certainly a lot to get into here today with stuff going on. A little slick out there in some of the rural areas. How are your roads coming in?
Well, I'm always the first one down the road because I get up so early.
There's a slight little trail.
I'm a trail breaker, and I have a truck. It's 4-wheel drive. I live in central New York.
And you fly.
Don't. You suck.
Get out of the way,
get
says Joe.
Move.
I can tell you're feeling good.
You notice the more weight he loses, the more he needs the big truck. All right,
I got
Joe.
a funny story on that note, too, about my son last night. I think I know where you were going.
And it is.
Well, my son has been dealing with this little chest cold, right? He seems fine. He doesn't act sick, but anytime he coughs, he sounds really, really congested. So I said, we got to take a shower. He fought it. He didn't want to take a shower, but I wanted to get it real hot and get the steam going to break up what it was in his chest. So I'm I keep telling him, take deep breaths, take deep breaths, take deep breaths. So he didn't want to be in there, but then he says to me, okay, Daddy, where's my washcloth? I said, okay. And I'm washing up. He's like, I washed my feet, Daddy. And I'm like, yeah, good job, Carter, good job. I washed my knees. I said, great, good job. I washed my legs, Daddy. I washed my legs. I said, great job, Carter. He goes, now I wash this thing. Okay, just keep taking deep breaths, kiddo.
Well, if that's his name for it, then that's probably okay, right?
Yeah.
It won't embarrass you as much at dinner sometime.
No.
Did you see that Kathy Lee? Kathy Lee is
pregnant? Oh.
No.
Oh.
She's stepping down from her cocktail hour.
Oh.
On the, what is it, the Post
Hoda
today, and they all got...
It's still today, I think, but it's late this morning, I
the
think.
late Today Show or something. Yeah. Kathy Lee and Hoda got emotional talking about her decision to leave the show, and when they started to cry, the crew lowered a box of tissues. Kathy joked that the crew wasn't emotional enough to need tissues.
We do life together, and nobody more so than my Hoda, who it's going to happen the same way it did with Regis. When I left Regis, it was hard, but I'm closer to him now than we were after 15 years together. So I love you, Hoda Mama. You're just so special, Hoda. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The minute you stepped into my life with both feet, everything changed.
Oh, Lordy.
You're both drunk.
I know. Well,
I thought about it. I knew today was happening, but I might just want to leave it there, Jared. It's going to be that kind of day. Nobody else needs it, I see.
And down come the tissue box.
So where's she going?
I don't know.
Drinking alone.
She's on the show till April. I don't know what they're crying about.
Till
She's not
April?
leaving until April, yeah.
Oh.
Give me a break.
Well,
By
with a
this
long
time-
holiday break and all.
Someone else will get, caught up in a scandal. She'll get promoted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Bill and Jeff, at some point, we're not going to be working together. I don't know when, but
She'll sound like on the. Well, it just is.
I shouldn't make fun. They're probably good friends. But
Yeah, I'm sure.
it'll be a long 8 months.
They are drinking buddies. So that show, they just drink every day.
That's it.
They have.
I mean, one glass is equal to a bottle, I think.
And I even think that Lester Holt, when he did the story last night on NBC News, said, "And here's a toast to."
They got them all
That's their
drinking.
thing.
I think
Yeah.
behind the scenes, the cameraman got a bottle.
They do. They probably do.
We ought to do that.
And then
We
they
do
inspired
the
other
show.
shows, too.
We do the show, and then after the show, we drink, and we just shoot the breeze on something, and we put it on the radio.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, yeah, that would go well.
That would work well. We'd be talking about the shower with your son. What are we talking about here?
This and that thing.
Rachel, good morning. It's kind of uneventful out there, although we did get a little snow last night.
We did, yeah. It added up to almost an inch in spots, but the threat of snow for at least today is gone, and through the rest of the work week, too. We'll be pretty quiet. Mostly cloudy, maybe some peaks of sun. Will be in the lower 30s for today. Doing it all over again for Thursday. By Friday, upper 30s and some sun. And then for the weekend, this is a storm system that warms us up into the 40s and brings up rain chances both Saturday and Sunday.
So we could be right back to no snow on the ground.
We could, yeah. I think we are going to melt off a fair amount, if not all, with the rain on top of the warm temperatures.
Really not that much out there. And, with it's terrible with these 3 fatalities on the snowmobile trails this past weekend. People really have to be careful with the fact that these, we don't have that much snow quite yet. So
yeah,
it's exactly. The trails are just not ready for high speed. That's for sure. All right, so warm up this weekend, maybe some rain, otherwise uneventful.
Yep.
Rachel Witters, chief meteorologist at Eyewitness News. Thanks so much. In 100 years, I swear to God, men will have their own Me Too movement. That's where we're headed. I'm really thinking it. Tanya J. Power standing by from Fox News right now. Good morning, Tanya.
Oh, it just makes me wish I was younger so I could stick around and see that.
Yeah. It will be interesting.
Hashtag men too.
Yes, it will be quite the next 100 years. All right, so this whole Cohen thing is this is the sentencing preview, and of course, it's being recommended that he get jail time for this, right?
It is by the federal prosecutors in the Southern District of New York. Now, it gets kind of legalese and in the weeds here, but I'm going to do my best to kind of break this down. There's a couple of different things going on here. First of all, you may have heard that, the Mueller probe people say, oh, well, he's cooperated fully. We don't think you should, have the book thrown at him.
Yeah.
And then the other lawyers are like, nope. We think you should go in for at least 4 years. What he did was substantial and that kind of thing. The reason there's two sets of kind of, opinions about this is because you're talking about the Mueller probe stuff lying to Congress and how he talked to the Mueller people and told them everything. This is the guy who stood up in court in August and pled guilty and basically named the president as an unindicted co-conspirator.
Yeah.
That was about all of the hush money that was paid to Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal to keep quiet, so all of that would not come out before the election and influence voters one way or the other. And the government takes a very dim view of that.
Yeah.
And that is the reason that it's election-related, subject to campaign finance laws, that kind of thing. So that's the bulk of what, the sentencing today is about. That is when he went to talk to the federal prosecutors in the Southern District, they say he was not a very cooperating witness at all, that he told them stuff related only limited in scope to what they wanted. They wanted, when you're named a cooperating, witness in a case, you're supposed to tell them everything, and no matter what it is. It's basically any crime that's ever been committed that you knew of, participated in, whatever, you got to come clean. He would not do that with them. And that is the reason they told the judge, throw the book at him. Yeah.
It is going to be interesting. And when you see him, I got to tell you, the photos of Cohen, he is just like, he seems so meek today. Prior to this, it was like he was bold, and he had the president on his side, and he was the guy that was just kind of in everybody's face. But now when you see shots, and by the way, they're always walking shots. I don't know what it is, but we've never seen Cohen standing still. Watch any of the in Fox News. I think one of the guys on the 5, that afternoon show, the 5, was like, "Do we have anything with Cohen standing still?" Because every shot is of him of him walking. So but he does. Right. He has this meek, like I've been really a bad boy type look on his face these days. It's very different from what we saw before.
I think things ended a whole lot differently than he thought they were going to, right? Yeah. Because, this guy had been the longtime personal attorney. He was the fixer. He was the guy that, when something happened in the Trump orbit, that they went, okay, go handle this. And I guess was expecting to be treated a lot differently once they got to the White House. Yeah. He wasn't given a position in the White House. He was kind of shut out from all of that. And now, you've got this guy who once said he would take a bullet for the president. The president's calling him weak and tweeting about him about how, he hasn't been a stand-up guy like, Paul Manafort.
Yeah.
So, it's had a much different turnout than he probably thought it would.
All right. Very interesting, Tanya. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.
Sure. You too.
All right. And I believe the way this is working, and you can look this up to confirm it, but it is Mueller that is calling for Cohen to do time. It is Flynn is the one that he's come in and said he was extraordinarily cooperative. Yeah. But when it comes to Cohen, Mueller is calling for time. However, the Southern District says that he was cooperative. So where all of this goes. And Rob is upset. Rob, I'm sorry. I did not lead off with the fact that a court in California, which, by the way, most times, Rob, hates the courts like the president, hates the courts in California. But a judge in California has ruled that Stormy Daniels has to pay back, $250,000. Now, that will go to appeal. And there's another case where the president would actually owe her more. Where all of this goes, we don't know yet, but it is true.
What the final totals will be.
Prior to appeal, Rob, a judge has ruled that she's got to pay money back. So,
and she should have to,
she
right?
should. I don't know on this. I think that what she should be doing is suing her attorney for horrible representation. These people completely.
The Avenatti guy?
I completely think they used her.
Oh, 100%.
And that's who she should be going after.
100%.
Not the president, because they butchered this case.
So, but the thing I'm saying that she should have to pay back is...
The whole thing is, listen,
legal fees is
you get you take the money, you sign a deal.
Right.
A deal of non-disclosure. Somewhere along the line in the last 5 years, 4 years, maybe since President Trump has been in office, it happened with Cosby. It's happening in this case. At what point is a deal a deal?
I don't think it is. She's writing a book about it, doing interviews about it.
I
mean, not disclose, like, don't tell your friends. She's,
now,
like, writing it everywhere.
They try to claim that the president actually opened that door when he went after her. I don't know. Listen, I think she threw the first stone in this. But you sign a deal, you take the money, and if it's not such a great deal, well, shame on you and your attorney.
Yeah.
It's not like you can go back and say, I changed my mind.
Yeah.
Well, apparently you can now.
Well, someone else, I see the going rates now is $450,000, so I want that. No, this is what you agreed to.
That's exactly right. You signed the deal.
The going rate for an NBA.
And the indicator on this has always been, you not only did you sign the deal, but you took the money. You took the money. Once you take the money, that kind of seals the deal.
Yeah.
So I don't get it all, but apparently that's where we are today. Rolling Stone magazine released a list of the 100 greatest Bruce Springsteen songs of all time. What do you think checks in at number one? We'll come right back with it. 649 at WIBX. Is where are the dead, dying malls in upstate New York? And we'll talk about that coming up. When you think about it, we had, of course, 2 here. Mm-hmm. And now what they did by converting Riverside, I think, has been quite a successful move.
I was just going to say that.
You get a couple of good anchor stores in there from BJ's. By the way, $2.50, I think I paid for gas over there the other day with a membership card.
Well, I hate to tell you this, but there's 2 stations I know of, $2.47 and $2.49.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How much is their membership card?
$0.
Okay. How far do I have to travel?
Commercial
Less
drive.
than 10 minutes.
Okay, that's cool. But they've done really well over there, transforming.
Bass
It's still
Pro
owned
Shop?
by. It's still right. You have Bass Pro Shop, Walmart, Lowe's. BJ's, that's a
Tractor Supply's got
that's
a, store
a
in
hit,
there,
and
too.
Tractor Supply. So you got a hit there, and they do great traffic. Sangertown, by the way, it'll be interesting. I'll tell you what they say about Sangertown in this story, because the Destiny USA in Syracuse has really leveled all of the surrounding malls there. They're all struggling, all looking to, God, what do we do here? Put bowling alleys in these malls? What do we do? Because it's not flying. Gil Torres is a crime prevention specialist, a terrorism analyst. The Secret Service is now testing. By the way, he's in instead of Robert Cotelbiano. Secret Service testing the use of facial recognition outside the White House for people that are just walking around. Gil, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So, what do you think? Is this a violation of our rights to some sort of privacy, or I guess not? Every city in the country seems to have cameras taking a look at people.
Well, you're correct. There are cameras in most places, and I think under federal law as well. As long as the camera is in a place where the public has access and has a lesser expectation of privacy, it usually flies.
Yeah. What about facial recognition? I guess, I'm a big civil rights person, a big Bill of Rights person, but at the same time, I guess I'm okay. If you're out in public, you know that someone's watching you, whether it's a camera, whether it's somebody that's undercover, or maybe it's facial recognition. I guess I kind of find myself okay with it.
I think I find myself okay with it. I think it's coming whether we like it or not.
Yeah, you're right.
They're starting to use some of that in airports and places like that. I know that certainly it's a technology that has been evolving. Who would have known that 5-6 years ago we would have had cars driving themselves?
Right.
and we've got some other things going on in the science and technology world that we didn't even expect.
Yeah.
So I think that I think and for law enforcement and terrorism and public safety, I think it'll just be one more tool in their arsenal. I mean, no tool is perfect. No one strategy or equipment is great, but altogether, in law enforcement and intelligence work, they need all the help they can get.
Now, the ACLU seems to be, as you might expect, on the other side of this, saying this is a violation of a person's privacy. What do you say to that?
You know what? I think there's somebody has to draw a line in the sand as how much privacy you are entitled to and how much your government and your law enforcement agencies can bump up against that line to try to keep you safe.
Very interesting. Gil, thanks for taking the time this morning. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Have a great day and a great holiday. I have a friend who was, he and his girlfriend decided they were going to go to Canada, spend the weekend in Canada. So they got all their stuff and everything ready, and they packed up and they headed down the thruway. They got into the Niagara Falls area and began to enter the country. And my friend, who's a bit of a smart aleck, they said, "Are you bringing anything illegal into the country?" And he said, No, she has mace, but other than that, we're okay. Okay, they don't fool around at the border anymore. There is no joking. They don't tell jokes, I don't believe.
There's a sign in the office.
No jokes. Don't tell jokes. You're going to be in trouble.
Zero joke policy.
So this is unbelievable because he's calling me on the way home. Yeah, we couldn't get in.
Oh.
They found that he had gotten into a fight when he was 22 years old. They brought them in. They took down their information, found that he had been convicted of a felony or something, of assault or something. And because of that, they refused them entry into the country. You are not welcome in Canada.
Wow.
And they turned them away. So they had a blast in Buffalo. Isn't that crazy, though? What's about to change, though, is this facial recognition. It's going to really speed things up in the airports. That's going to change everything. Once they start using this, I mean, think about it. My phone opens up based on facial recognition. There might be someone that can get into this phone, but you can try it. You can't get in. My wife can't get into my phone without my face being in.
Who son probably look the most like you, yeah.
But the technology is there. Once it starts being used, it's going to be used everywhere. As he said, outside the White House, at the border crossings, when you get stopped by the police, maybe for a normal checkup, a speed stop or something.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they'll be able to look and now if you're running from the law, well, we're going to catch you.
Yeah.
But where it gets tricky is for a guy like this, who 30 years ago got into a fight and has something that, and for that, it came back on him. That's what facial recognition is going to do for the people who aren't bad actors.
Meanwhile, certain advocates, southern border, let them come and go.
That's right.
Who cares?
Bring him in. We wouldn't recognize him anyway, would we? We wouldn't.
With that facial recognition, to the point you made about getting pulled over.
That's going to be big about, top 10 most wanted FBI people. And, I think
like if they pull into a rest area, the camera will pick up. And
absolutely. Wherever, if you're walking in public, what the Department of Homeland Security is saying to people, where the ACLU came out and said, well, this is a violation of their privacy. The DHS suggests people who don't want to be captured on camera may just choose to avoid that area. It's a bit of a problem because that is the White House. It's supposed to be the people's territory.
But I just thought of something. I mean, if they could use this, so you know how a lot of, I know the Oneida County Sheriff's Office does it where the kids get fingerprinted or there's identification purposes for kids. If you're able to have your child's face registered so that if anything happens, there'll be wanted posters and they walk into Walmart. Because how many times do they say, the abductee took the abductee into a store?
I will tell you one thing: the technology is not completely there.
Right.
And it's there probably, but not on the iPhone. So I can put my sunglasses on, and my phone will recognize me. It does.
You're kidding
with my
me.
sunglasses. And I have these little narrow, they're corrective lens sunglasses. But I have an old pair of Ray-Bans, the old, what do they call those?
The AV. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
One of
the aviators.
I put those on. It won't. I can't get into the phone with facial recognition. So you're going to see people walking around in masks and putting stuff over their faces.
One more thing on what you said about
what are you hiding? What are you trying to hide behind that mask?
Getting pulled over. It's no more. I mean, not now, but in 20 years, no more license and registration. It'll be.
Let me see your face, right?
Yeah. Mr. Keeler?
It'll automatically do it. Maybe he'll have something right on his on a camera on his body camera. Will possibly pick it up.
Mr. Keeler, I see you're late again this morning.
Yeah, that's right.
Keep it down here. Slow it down a little bit.
Not good. Well, they always know. Usually I get stopped in the morning. It's like, so you're running a little behind, I'm assuming. Yeah.
Heard that one before.
7:21. All right. The mall's dying. Does that mean Sangertown is dying? I got to tell you, the malls around Destiny USA are just falling to pieces. And they're closing. They're losing stores. They're losing anchors. Why is it all happening, and is it spreading here? We'll get into it next and see what they said about Sangertown. It's Seuss. And it says that about 25% of malls are going to be closing in the next 4 years. That's a huge number.
It is, but I'm actually relieved it's not a bigger number.
Yeah,
I mean,
guess
how
you're
much?
right.
How many times do you go to the mall versus if you weighted your shopping, percentage-wise? What do you do online versus in-store?
Well, I have to tell you that if you drive over near the mall right now, it is jam-packed.
Oh,
and it helps when you have a like Sangertown, I think, still does. By the way, you want to know where Sangertown is on the list?
Yeah.
Of dead malls? It's not.
Oh, good.
I didn't.
It's not on the list.
Yeah, I will say
You were cheating? You were going to the paperwork before? Not good. Not
great.
Good. So, but think about what they have. They have Target. You have Macy's.
Dick's Sporting Goods is
Dick's Sporting
enormous.
Goods.
They pay
huge.
a lot for that rent
Yep.
there. I mean, that might be
the home, whatever home store that is that's over there.
Oh yeah, the
Boscov's. I mean, I think what they've kind of done is exactly what they did over at Riverside, except you can go inside and there are all those little stores inside.
Correct.
I still think Sangertown will be at its best again if they could add some of what Destiny has, and that is some restaurants, some entertainment, maybe a restaurant that has a bar. That will change. That really will change everything.
So one of the interesting things that Dick's...
By the way, it's something they always used to have.
Right. Well, and they had the movie theater.
And the movie theater, yeah.
So the interesting thing about Dick's Sporting Goods, the way they do their online shopping is, so when you place an order, let's say you go to dicksportinggoods.com, and you place an order, that order doesn't come from like a factory somewhere. It comes from another
Dick's.
store.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, for instance, like part of the the people at the Dick's in New Hartford, they fill orders for the Texas online order, and then they
Which
ship it
means
out.
in some cases
so it's
you
coming
can get
from a
stuff.
box store.
You can get stuff. You could order at 5, 6 o'clock. You could get it the next morning.
Yeah.
Or you could go pick it up at the store.
At the store.
So,
Now, me personally as a shopper, because I like to buy it and have it. That's why I don't do online shopping, because it drives me nuts having to wait for it in the mail.
Yeah.
I'm impatient. So,
by the way, those candles I was talking about the other day that are battery operated and they flicker.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful. And they're like the holiday candles, and you don't have to put a cord. It's a AA battery.
Turn them on once, and
you turn them on one time. They shut off 6 hours later, and they remember to turn on the next night. Brilliant. Sold out. I had to go buy one more. They're all gone now.
Wow.
And they're not restocking them.
What?
Wow, it's
December.
December.
It's the end of the season.
That's how they come in.
Everything's already like 25%.
They're already doing
off.
the Easter stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Easter's already there.
So, to the point you made though on the entertainment, Sangertown does have actually just recently added a bowling alley, which is something I thought was interesting. I saw photos inside. Maybe
is
it's
it one
still
of these
coming.
luxury bowling alleys? I don't think it's open yet. Is it?
No, it can't be open.
That was a couple months ago. That story came
Well, you know
out.
what else is good
Yeah,
too
but
for
it takes a while to build them.
bringing kids in the mall. That Billy B's, kids go nuts
Carter
over that
loves
thing.
it there. Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's how they're kind of making all of this work.
Yeah.
But it seems like each market has their one mall. So Sangertown would be the one mall for this market. And
yeah, because you get people from
it's
Old Forge and stuff like
Absolutely.
that. Yeah.
Now, Destiny is still doing very well. Destiny, but beyond the comedy club, the restaurants, the music, the Margaritaville, all of that stuff, it lends to all of that. But what it has done is crushed all of the malls around it. They're all either closed already. Or
like your Great Northern.
They're dying. Yeah, they have a
Shopping Town in DeWitt.
Here's their list of, in the Syracuse area, of the malls that are either going down or gone. Tri-County Mall in Baldwinsville, that's already gone. It's a luxury housing location now. Camillus Mall, which opened up in the 1960s. That mall was taken down, I believe, in 2003, except for just a couple of stores. Penn Can Mall in Cicero. Marketplace Mall in Cicero, Shopping Town in DeWitt, all of those are on the list as being dying and probably will close or reinvent themselves in the next couple of years. So the good news is Sangertown's not on that list.
Good job to them. It is tough. It's a tough thing to do.
Of course, they're owned by the same company that owns Riverside and the same company that owns Destiny USA. 7:29, hold tight. A free money question of the day is coming up. And we'll also update the news and some other stuff I'll get to. But the money is $100 this morning. It's courtesy of Free Money Question coming up. Tom, though, in Little Falls is on regarding the mall closings. Good morning, Tom. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Wonderful.
Actually, I can see you. I'm not home. I'm in a motel in Sydney because I have a 2-day work assignment here. What caught my attention was
that is interesting. The beauty of
hang on, Tom.
Hold on, Tom.
The beauty of being on Fox is they go way down into the southern tier as well. So you get down into Oneonta, you get down into.
We were just talking about that one day. My sister, who lives like a good hour and a half away, was like, "I'm watching you." I'm like,
Sydney's south of Norwich, right?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, well, when you mentioned Shopping Town, the Sears in there just closed within the past year, and that was the biggest store in Shopping Town.
Yeah.
So that's what happens. Other things is there were 4 Kmarts in Syracuse, all gone, well, in the Syracuse area, and that affects malls. And the last Kmart in the Albany area is closing soon. That's the one in Rotterdam Mall, and that affects the malls. So that's one of the things that's causing malls to close.
We are in a bit of a reinvention right now of the way we shop, and I think we haven't figured out quite where the whole Amazon and the delivery and all of that stuff fits in as of yet, because there's still a benefit to be able to grab a product, like Andrew was saying, and put it in your hand. Or like my daughter, who ordered a dress for a dance she had the other night and got it, and the thing, she couldn't even pull it up.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a brave move.
That was,
Yeah. And then,
trust me. And then she had to go to a seamstress and the whole 9 yards.
which, I mean, added cost.
Sure it does. Yeah.
So, 2 points.
Came out of her babysitting money.
Tom, there is a Kmart, I believe, in Syracuse.
I'm not paying for that crap.
No.
He paid for the dress already.
That's right.
Buy the right size, and I don't have to pay twice. There is still at least one Kmart in Syracuse. I know because my mother uncovered it, and it was like front page news. She called me 3 times. And
it's probably the one in Mattydale.
It is, yes. I'm like, what's the man? Why do you keep going? She goes, there's still a Kmart in Syracuse? I'm like, Mom, okay, it's Kmart.
All right, Tom, and believe me, Tom would know because he puts bikes together at Kmart's. That's what he does around the state. So,
well, we'll see you on the 24th.
Okay, we will be here. Thanks, Tom. And by the way, he's in the this movie that's being filmed here locally.
He's in this one too.
Adrian Brody and all of that. He's in it.
And notice he's
Let me do this. Let me do Jason because he's been waiting.
Sorry,
Jason and Oriskany. These guys will keep talking. I'll have you on the phone for the next hour. For God's sakes, let's get you done. Are you ready to go, Jason?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Hopefully he'd be listening anyway.
How's Oriskany this morning? Pretty good.
Pretty much same as everywhere.
Same as it was yesterday. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Here is your question. You're going to have 7 seconds to answer it. And here we go. Tri-County Mall in Baldwinsville opened in 1974. Camillus Mall in Camillus opened in the 1960s. Marketplace Mall in Cicero opened in 1984. Shopping Town Mall in DeWitt opened in 1954. Your question is, what year did Sangertown Square open? Ready, go.
1982.
Is it 1982? It is not. Oh. I was hoping you'd stop at 1980 and then just stop. Because you were almost there, 1980. But I will give you a gift card to the 72 Tavern and Grill, $25 gift card. Great. For lunch or dinner over there. Check it out if you haven't been there. It's awesome. The food's really good. The view's awesome, whether you're going to watch a game or not. It's all yours, Jason, and Davey's going to hook you up.
Sounds great, guys.
Right,
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Davey, he gets the 72 Tavern and Grill card. Which, by the way, I might as well tell him now. We were at a meeting 2 Fridays ago. Was it 2 Fridays ago? I believe it was.
Yeah, it was.
I have a brand new laptop that I purchased in August because my whole life is in this laptop. And I'm sitting there, and I felt so bad for this girl. It's our table, and we're doing a little Christmas Eve show meeting. Let's take it out of the building. Sometimes you get more creative when you're out of the building, and cocktails are flowing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, there were no cocktails flowing here. We were all drinking soda, and it was lunchtime. And the waitress was bringing over a tray that had, and their sodas are big at the 72 Tavern and Grill.
Yeah,
they are.
They're not small. And she's holding it on the tray, and I'm typing away, and she said, "Oh, my God, I'm so nervous." She's standing over top of me. "I'm so nervous that I'm going to tip this over." And I'm like, "Oh, you're fine." Bob, boom. The entire tray.
Part of it was Andrew's fault, though.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah.
Andrew says...
So, all right, first of all, so she was nervous, and now...
tray came. So what you did is you lifted one off for her.
No, I didn't touch it. So basically what happened was I'm trying to comfort the poor girl.
By the way,
she's shaking.
I said, "Don't worry. This laptop is waterproof."
It's not.
No.
All of a sudden,
it might be waterproof. It's not Pepsi proof.
All of a sudden, the whole tray comes over on top of me, all over my pants and my jacket,
which was the secondary issue.
Lap. But I look at my laptop, and there is like Pepsi all over the laptop, all over the keyboard.
Yeah, the ice.
So I quickly pick it up. I'm trying to brush the thing off. And by the way, it ain't waterproof, and it was no more than I said that it just tipped over.
Well, but the thing that he said, here's what he said.
By the way, I have to say the Comets completely they fixed my 72 Tavern, completely fixed my laptop, and I thank Rob and Jeff. They really took care of it, and I feel terrible for the waitress.
Yeah.
I felt awful for her.
I mean, it was an honest mistake. So what happens?
And I'm not
she's
somebody,
a small girl.
And I'm not somebody that gets up and like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, no, don't worry about it.
Although Jeff and I, who know Bill, were like, oh,
I got ice cubes coming into my groinal region. I mean, it was...
which immediately dried because Bill was so hot. No, so this girl comes over.
Comment.
I made
That's
a comment. So this girl's nervous. She's shaking, behind the nervousness and the weight of this tray. There's like 5 drinks on there, and she said, I'm so nervous. And then I said, well, no, it's fine. Once you place it down, you don't have to be nervous. So she places one drink down, and then probably subconsciously thought, oh, okay, I'm good. And then...
Yeah, I listen, it happens. You know what? It's like anything else. They'll tell you, if you look towards something when you're driving, you will subconsciously drive towards it.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you worry about something, it's probably going to happen. And that's kind of what went through. I felt awful for the girl. She's a nice she probably never wants to see me again, I'm not a yeller or anything like that. I didn't lose it. But I was worried, and so immediately,
there was a lot going on.
Immediately, I started getting text messages on my phone. People saying, "What are you texting me?" And I'm looking at what I had texted because my laptop can send text messages. So I'm sending all these characters and these my laptop was just texting people.
Well, I think what happened, 2 things. One, what you said was once you place the glass on the table, it's not your responsibility. And no sooner did the words come out of your mouth, you heard, Niagara Falls.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
The other thing was you had a cloth. You obviously had some napkins. And what are you doing? You're like rubbing back and forth.
Probably.
Yes, you were frantically scrubbing. So.
Yeah,
that's probably you were sending the text messages.
Anyway,
but she was a great girl. And you know what? Shame on us. The girl's nervous. She's got 4 drinks on the thing. There's 4 guys there.
Where were you guys?
I know. Well, we were in a
booth.
I was stuck in there.
So what he's saying is Andrew was the closest to the waitress. So
that's why I said it was your fault.
I should have probably taken the drinks.
There's more that you could have done.
But I cannot tell you enough that they treated us exactly the way you would expect them to treat us. And they were awesome over there. And I did give Jeff a warning. I think I might talk about this on the air, just giving you a heads up. No. Yeah, it happened to you. I get it. But I got my laptop back yesterday. So it's been
it's good to go, right?
And it's good to go.
Yeah.
Well, complete brand new top to the laptop had to be put on. So
no harm, no foul.
Yeah. So anyway, my my highest suggestion to anybody that has an Apple, when they tell you want to spend $350 on Apple Care Plus, get it. Yeah. And I didn't know the difference is you only have like 60 days to buy it, and the difference is it's even accidental for like 2 years. If you were to drop it into a pool of water, they would replace the whole laptop for you if you had Apple Care.
So that's why you said to me, because what they were doing for me that one time, because I said, there was a time in college they replaced my. They don't do that anymore because it's an insurance policy.
You have to pay for it.
Yeah, just another note on insurance.
And I tried to buy it too. I did everything. I tried to buy it, and they're like, we will check for water damage if you're, because I was just out. I was outside the window. They wouldn't let me buy it.
Just a quick note on insurance type things. So as you guys know, I had like an iPhone 6. The screen was shattered. It was ridiculous. I finally opted. I was going to get a new phone, so I went and got an 8 Plus, the screen protector. The guy tells me right at the counter, he goes, it's $40. He goes, but you got to go home today. You register it. Right, and he goes, it's guaranteed forever. He goes, if anything ever happens, they'll never charge you again. They'll just send you a new one in the mail. I said, yeah, no big deal. I got a brand new phone. I got a case on it. I'm good to go. I'm at the teddy bear toss game. I'm sitting there. Carter's on my lap. He's fidgety. Boom, knocks the phone over. It hits the step and then falls in between the seats in front of me. And I'm like, oh, there's two ladies. I'm like, ladies, let me just reach out. I got to pick it up.
Cracked?
Broke my screen.
That's why I always get the tempered glass. No, he didn't have the tempered glass.
Oh, you didn't have the tempered glass, so you got to have that. Yeah. That'll cut you, too, by the way. I tried peeling it off once, and it is glass.
It's glass, yeah. And one other
very,
thing,
very
insurance
thin.
at the casino, I don't ever take it.
Okay. I don't either.
No.
Even if I've got a really good hand. There might be listen, when you take insurance, you take insurance when you got blackjack, and so does the dealer.
Yeah.
That's when you take insurance. Give me my even money. I want to hear it first. What's the story?
So this was one I mentioned here at the bottom of the hour. A restaurant near Clemson University in South Carolina is catching heat for its Tijuana chicken sandwich. The restaurant Loose Change described the sandwich as big enough to feed a caravan. When describing the toppings, they said it was built high enough and described it as so good it should be illegal. Student government said it was distasteful, and the restaurant eventually apologized for the sandwich and description.
It should come with a
side. Your take.
My side is it should come with a side of candy asses, as I think, because everybody's offended about this.
I got to tell you, I disagree. I mean, I think the restaurant got exactly what they wanted out of it, and it created a bit of a firestorm. When they did it, they knew it was going to create a firestorm. And if you're upset about the firestorm, it's your own fault, because if you think that you're going to do a special like that and not get somebody out there to criticize, protest, complain, then you're living on another planet.
And you're near a college campus.
Yeah. And I don't think it's just about if you take your right hand, try this at home, and stick it in your toaster, okay?
Yeah, okay.
And then turn the toaster on.
Yes.
All right? You know what's going to happen. And if you still do it, it's because you want to find your name in the newspaper for somebody who's got electrocuted in a toaster.
The second time.
Otherwise, you're a God-blessed moron if you don't think something's going to happen. And the same thing here.
It's just the idea that someone's offended by that.
I would be offended by it.
It's so good it should be illegal.
I think the whole thing is about the caravan. You're right. Using that whole thing, illegal aliens. Today,
but that's
where
offensive.
But it is offensive.
Oh, Bill,
because people are equating that with. I mean, listen, I like jokes. I'm not saying I'm offended, but I'm saying it is offensive. It's otherwise it wouldn't have the effect that it's having. You think of what someone's going to do is how could you talk about that when there are little children being tear gassed at the border? That's how some people are going to see that. And if you're I had a client just the other day that wanted to get down the road of, I forgot what the topic was, but it was like this. What do you think? I want to do a commercial about this. And I said, well, my take on it is, if you're okay with A, B, and C happening, then let's do it. Because I love this stuff. I love getting a rise out of people. So give me the chance to produce this commercial because I want to do it. But I want to be honest. I want to warn you that if you do it, this is probably what's going to happen, and I'm not sure you want that. And his answer to me was, nope, let's not do it. And that's where it ended. And I said, darn it all, because I really wanted to do that commercial.
Have we talked about the Ocean Blue ads?
There's
another
on the air. So the thing I saw,
now
somebody
that
shared
is edgy.
yesterday.
Somebody's going to get offended, and you know it. And I think that's, but to
you
me,
don't think,
that's
you
pushing
don't
the envelope.
You don't think tying a menu to the caravan and immigrants and the whole thing going on at the southern border is not edgy? It's edgy.
But by simply
especially
saying,
on a college campus where people are overly sensitive. We're running out of time to talk about this. We'll do it on the other side. There's another story out there worth getting into, and that is the tuna fish. But the Ocean Blue thing, I think, is worth really digging into, and I'd like to do that. The Mets thing, I have a theory on. What did Richard say?
Richard said he just, in the title of the email, he said Mets, Yanks, Marlins, and then he just said fake news.
I'm going to say something that I've never said before.
Richard's right.
I agree with him.
Yeah.
And here's what I think the Mets are doing. They're floating this out there, and all it's doing is pointing the anticipation of the Mets keeping him.
Oh, interesting.
Because now you're showing we have something special here. Mm-hmm. Buy your tickets now.
Oh.
Because I really believe this. Because everybody wants him. Even the Yankees want him. And
I think that's a good point.
There's a lot of honor. I mean, you got Cy Young and all of that. I get that. But still, this just builds all the more hype. Float it out there. And then in the end, they don't give him up. And it just shows you how valuable he is.
I'll tell you, I didn't really agree with you until the last thing you said, which was, hey, look, we got a guy the Yankees want. And that's
correct.
That's an interesting thing.
It's big in the New York market.
I was actually thinking maybe you were leaning toward the no deal with the Yankees, but a note to all the other teams that, hey, you better.
I don't feel that way. I think you gotta hang on to him. I mean, think about any success we had this year. Even at the worst, he was still winning.
Yeah.
I mean, he was still pitching well.
Yeah.
Yes.
The team couldn't get a win for his
and Matt's
record.
pitched really. I'm telling you, things come together. This could be. I've said this for like 3 years in a row. Could be the best 1 through 5 rotation.
Well, like you said, I mean, how important at the end of every year when the team is done and out, we should have had better pitching. I think it really starts with the bullpen.
Listen, I really believe that baseball is a lot like any other sport, but it's a lot like basketball. So you can take, and Syracuse is a great example. You can take a team; these guys can score game after game. They can hit them from the free throw line. They can knock in the 3-pointers. Then all of a sudden, something gets into their stinking head, and they can't touch the rim. And it goes on for games.
And it usually happens against East Park Town State.
Baseball is the same
Central.
way. Hitting the ball is the same way, and pitching is the same way.
Yeah.
So once it gets into your head, I mean, even fielding the ball sometimes. There's something about certain sports where your head gets all screwed up, and that's where I think the Mets have been. And then on top of it, they had injuries. So, I think they have the makings of a really strong team. Getting rid of this guy would be awful.
I agree.
It would be, and to do it to the Yankees, give him to the Yankees, you've got to be kidding me. Be terrible. What else? The Ocean Blue story. So they put out these ads on social media.
There was a pill bottle one that got controversy because of the opioid epidemic.
Ocean Blue is promoting their New Year's Eve party. There's a big blowout on New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to sell it out. So the first one they put out was a condom. And what did it say?
I'm not sure what the specific condom details
anyway,
I mean, it just basically says the date and time of the party and how you get tickets.
And they're saying, "But you're promoting unsafe sex." Well, really, they're promoting safe sex. Whatever. But they're doing exactly what they're. Francis over there is creating a viral ad campaign that we're talking about on the radio right now. He's totally accomplishing his goal.
Right.
The next one came out was done on a prescription bottle.
It was on a prescription bottle. So when you get any prescription, it says, and there's actually one that's a script too. It's you get instructions on how to take the medicine. Basically, it's the instructions on how to get a ticket for the party. But it's just on the form of a pill bottle.
So I know that Made in Utica, that the Twitter feed and some others were really critical. And it's just this. I take the same stance as I took earlier this morning on that other issue. People are going to complain. They're going to take it the wrong way. They're going to say it's insensitive. How could you do that when people are overdosing? That's what's going to be said. And at the end of the day, he's going to get publicity out of it, and he's going to sell more tickets, and he's going to sell out his New Year's Eve.
So then he got a little bit more, and then he got a little
So
bit
he's still
more
doing, he's doing more?
Yeah, so he had a one with the big giant ketchup, ironically enough for me, big giant ketchup
bottle.
cans.
Yeah, their ketchup is the best over there. It's a gourmet ketchup that is so good.
So good you want to steal. And there's another one with like a Tommy gun with a champagne bottle.
Okay.
So last night I'm on Facebook and I look and I say, oh my gosh, they've got a new one. So they're doing some sort of promotion.
The other ones are really artful.
They're doing like a 25% off limited ticket.
Oh, okay.
And so what it does is it takes like an old DEA SWAT team kind of photo where they've got the big stash bust, on the table.
So they're doing a 25% off ticket now?
So they use the promo code COPS.
Yeah.
And so what they've done is they've taken the old, the team squad photo with the big bust load, the money and the drugs on the table. But on the table, instead of money and drugs, is the prescription bottle, the condom, the ketchup
the
ad.
previous
So what
ads.
they're saying is now the cops have confiscated all of our ads.
I agree. People have got to lighten up. But we all have to come to the conclusion that they're not going to right now. It is hypersensitive right now, and we just gotta take a deep breath. If you don't like what somebody's doing, look somewhere else.
So it's funny because I think I'll get you some of our Facebook comments here that we got on this morning, and it's right along the lines that we're talking. Jeff says being offended and expecting change is nothing more than demanding others regulate your emotions for you.
Yeah.
Just my 2 cents. Daniel says their last party ever ads that feature a pill bottle are absolutely disgusting. People die due to overdosing all the time. It's a serious issue that shouldn't be trivialized to advertise a New Year's Eve party. Irene says...
Okay.
Go ahead.
Come on, man. Be a man here. No one is making fun of overdoses.
Right.
People take prescriptions every single day. Some do it to get rid of chlamydia. Some do it because they're trying to protect their esophagus from acid reflux. I mean, there's no implication that he's making fun of people overdosing. But that's the reaction.
Last party ever.
That's the reaction.
Whatever.
That is is that what they're trying to go with?
But here's the thing: if it's one thing to say, okay, if this is the last party ever, but I'm looking at the ad and I don't see that.
There's another thing somebody could
it.
say is it's promoting drug abuse. It's promoting, come on. I mean,
this is just my 2 cents. The pill bottle one actually just did give me pause for a second. I'm not saying offended by it. I'm not saying they shouldn't do it. It just gave me pause because of the problems that we see, But it's not an esophageal pill bottle.
Listen,
it's not a Grandma's got arthritis pill bottle.
But it doesn't say what it is on it, does it?
You're right.
Does
no,
it say
the
medicine?
implication would not be that. No, it doesn't say that.
Now, again, let me reiterate. So on the actual ad, it doesn't say anything. They say in bold print, this is the last New Year's Eve party Ocean Blue will ever host because this is the only time they're doing it.
Listen to me. I perceive the ad as saying that it is a prescription for the stress you've had the entire year. That's how I see it.
Or it says,
and by the way, that's just how I looked at it.
Well, you're right. It says, may be taken with food and drinks of choice.
Yeah.
May cause party mood and celebratory effects. Celebrating with others may increase the effectiveness of this medicine. Used only as directed.
Someone saying, yeah, that's good medicine. It'd be good medicine for you to get out and have a night out on the town. That's how I read it. I don't read it as making fun of people who are dying from overdoses because of prescription meds. But anyway, whatever. This is where we are in this hypersensitive world where, God forbid, you come into my zone and what I'm doing in my zone offends you, and you have the right to regulate my zone.
The condom one was actually...
That's what your previous comment
Yeah, and that's what Jeff was saying. One more thing.
Irene says... But that condom one, it says wrap up 2018. I think that's perfect.
I do think they have done a really good job with these. Irene says, I think they've done an awesome job with marketing. I stop scrolling every time I see one of their marketing campaigns. It is different, and it makes people talk.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
Good stuff.
The one gave me pause, but I think you might have just talked me out of it.
It's a great medicine for a year that's been like no other.
That's true.
A big night out, get all dressed up, eat great food, great music, have a blast. And Francis, congratulations. We just did like a 15-minute commercial for your New Year's Eve party.
We expect free tickets start. No, I'm totally kidding.
Right?
Totally kidding.
I wouldn't be doing the 25% off right now. I'd be holding out. I'd be holding out for full price till about, because everybody plans the last minute around here, right?
Yeah.
All right, and then there's one other story. Can I squeeze it into? I have time.
You do.
SUNY student charged with posting Nazi-themed flyers in Harrisville or Harrison, New York. This is in the southern tier.
Charged with what?
This is what I'm wondering, and I'm kind of bothered by this. So a SUNY Purchase College has been arrested. A college student is what student has been arrested for spreading Nazi-themed posters on campus. The district attorney's office said Tuesday that the 18-year-old Gunnar Hazard was arraigned on a charge of aggravated harassment. It wasn't clear if he had a lawyer who would comment. The Journal News reports that Hazard is accused of causing alarm, fear, and annoyance on campus by posting multiple flyers during the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah. Now, they had swastikas, pictures of Hitler. It was bad. But I truly believe that kid is going to win in court because that is complete. They may have been able to get him on a violation of, well, there's a rule that says you can't post up flyers without getting permission.
Sure.
Okay, so, and it's on a campus, a state campus. But I think that falls under free speech, as horrible as it is, and I think the school should kick him out. They'd have every right to say, you're no longer allowed to be a student here, you're not allowed on campus.
Agreed.
They have every right to do that.
Yep.
But to arrest him and charge him with, the charge is like causing alarm, fear, and annoyance. I'm going to tell you, I can think of a dozen times in the last 5 years that I could be arrested for that.
Yeah.
I certainly would never post anything anti-Semitic, but we all, you all sometimes create a little anxiety in people. Are we going to be arrested for that now? Because what you say isn't something that people agree with? I just think that should be protected under the First Amendment.
Yeah.
Kick him off campus. Get rid of him because he's a scumbag.
Mm-hmm.
He's a racist piece of garbage.
Yep.
But we still have free speech in this country. I think it's not going to hold up. Keep an eye on it. Not that we'll ever talk about the story again, but I'd love to think that next year when he goes to court and it gets thrown out, we'll cover that story. I think that's what will happen. Talking about that ad campaign, and I believe we'll start with Katie. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you guys doing?
We're great.
We love your ketchup, Francis. It's my favorite.
Okay.
It's infamous.
I can't lie. It's just Heinz.
It is, but it's a gourmet though. There's something special about that ketchup.
It's the fancy recipe.
Yeah, it's really good. All right, so there's been some controversy. My take on this is the prescription bottle was basically a big party, perfect medicine for the end of the year. What was your intent?
So our New Year's Eve party, I don't know if you've ever been before, but it is one day of the year where Ocean Blue is just not itself. We're sort of a dance club. We pack the place with people. We have a huge dance floor, and we do what everybody does on New Year's Eve. We drink champagne and we dance and we ring in the new year, and it's a party, and it's a great time. So this year we're doing it a little bit different. We're doing an open bar, where in years past we would charge no cover, and it was kind of an issue to get that many people drinks, ringing everything in and opening tabs. So we said, we're going to do away with it. We're going to do open bar. You buy tickets, you come in. Mm-hmm. You don't have to worry about a thing. You don't have to bring anything with you except your ID.
Yeah.
And because it's so different, we wanted to advertise completely different from the way that we advertise for anything else at Ocean Blue. And we are kind of obsessed with taking familiar objects and sort of tweaking them with text and fonts and things like that. And we had this big blue prescription bottle that was actually housed our dog's antibiotic.
Mm-hmm.
And we said, oh, this is so cool. We're going to make it a prescription to party.
Ocean Blue,
yeah.
Yeah, and it was blue, and we're like, this is great. And we tried to get every detail the same, to match the prescription and everything. And then we launched it, and it went viral. It took on a whole mind of its own. And then after that, we said,
you do realize that every day we go to our computers and we try to recreate something that goes viral. And, some days you just you fail miserably. But you guys have accomplished it time and time again all of a sudden in this campaign.
Well, we got people's attention.
Yeah.
That was the first thing. The thing that we tried to do was get people's attention and then hold their attention to show them how special this party is. Another part of our advertisement that's taken off like wildfire that was not our intention. was the point of us saying that this is our last party ever at Ocean Blue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people think it's because it's like that Ocean Blue is no longer going to exist in the new year.
And, you know, people think that, you know, and then we said that we have a big announcement after New Year's Eve, after the ball drops, which we do, but it's an extremely positive announcement. And it's something special for all the people that decided that they were going to celebrate New Year's Eve with us. So we have a big surprise for all of them. But the announcement is not that we're closing. They could not be farther from the truth. In fact, the one reason why we don't want to do New Year's Eve parties anymore is because we have to close on New Year's Day, and we have a huge demand to be open on New Year's Day, and we have to close because we don't have anybody left to work because we're truly not a nightclub. You know, we're a restaurant and a bar. And when our staff does New Year's Eve, they're shop for like 2 days. We have nobody left to work on New Year's Day. Yeah. So on New Year's Day, we can't be the Ocean Blue that everybody knows and loves. We have to be closed. And New Year's Day is actually the only day that we close, ever. All year. We're open on Christmas. We're open on Christmas Eve. And, you know, I get a little bit of a chuckle when people think that, you know, that there's this rumor going around that we're going to close. I mean, it's...
yeah. Well, you know, listen, you guys know this town. I mean, it's... It's easy to...
I'm hearing that a lot about the successful restaurants. They're all just going to close.
Everything with any bit of success is, they're going down. They're
or it's not going to work. And I think that's a mentality that, you know, there's so much momentum in Utica, and we've got to get away from that in order to keep that going.
What do you say?
Know, last year for New Year's Eve, we had we stayed in our lane. We had a very similar to everybody else New Year's Eve advertisement. We had the champagne bottles and the flutes and the fireworks and all that stuff on our advertisement, and we got 3,000 people engaged in it.
Wow.
And this year we decided to pull out all the stops, be as creative as possible, and just do something that was new and fresh that people weren't used to, and we got 60,000 people engaged. So
that's big. What do you say to what do you say to people who, we had one comment here this morning saying, using a prescription bottle is so insensitive because of all of the overdoses. What do you say to those people?
Well, I can tell you that my grandfather was one of the founding doctors of the emergency room at St. Elizabeth's. And I've grown up around medicine and doctors my entire life. And I'm sorry that some people took this in that direction, but it was absolutely never. When I came up with this ad and I looked at this, I looked at a positive ad. There was a prescription for fun to have a party.
Yeah.
Now, that does not mean that looking back on it, that I don't see these people's points, because I do. I don't. Everyone can look at anything and get what they want out of it, based on their own personal experiences. And to those people, I apologize that they feel that that they were affected in a negative way by these advertisements, because that's not ever going to be our intention, ever.
And we would never poke fun at an epidemic, and I think that was the part where it started to, you know, troll with comments where we were like, whoa, this is not what our intention was, but, you know, people took it where they wanted to take
it. Because, Bill, we have also personally lost family members and friends due to drug abuse, opiates, and all of this stuff. You know, we've seen this addiction firsthand, and between staff and all of this stuff through our entire lives. I've worked in the restaurant business since I was 16 years old. I've seen it firsthand,
which is a problem in the restaurant business. There's no doubt about it. I have to say, though, we're at such a level of being offended, and because now with social media, the moment someone's offended and comes up with some cockamamie idea, they get to post it, and then it goes viral on its own, and it turns into a whole to-do. We got to get past that.
We can't listen. Yeah, we can't listen to Christmas music the same way, and we can't. And you know, I think one of the things we did get some comments early on where people who were offended said Ocean Blue is supposed to be a classy restaurant, and you're not supposed to act this way. And I think one of the things that is the biggest, aside from the fact that people need to get over that we're not closing, the biggest misconception is that we are this uptight, like, we just want everybody to have fun and have a good time and you know, throw all their cares away when they go there. And I think that was one of the things that was the most eye-opening for us, is that we're a little misunderstood in the community.
Yeah. Well, I don't misunderstand you. I know
always
one
quite
thing.
Comfortable in there.
Fresh oysters. That's what I look at. Fresh oysters.
Great cocktails, too.
Yeah.
The thing that really sets us apart from other restaurants, especially in Central New York, besides the fact that we're on a roof and we're huge, is that we're kids. This isn't owned This restaurant is not owned by a bunch of older people that don't get what's going on in the world and the new culture of advertising and stuff. Like my wife and I, we are traveled. We pay attention to what's current in the rest of the world. We pay attention to what's going on in other cities and the way other companies far more successful than us market themselves. And we're following suit. And as much as we may be offending some people, we are creating a lot of raving fans along the same way.
Yeah.
People who relate to the fact that we are not going to fade into the background. We are not going to be anything like any other restaurant in this city. And honestly, these people that want us to fail, if we're going to fail, we're going to do it on our own.
You don't need everybody's help. So you want to?
I don't need their advice.
Yeah.
It was just kind of maybe a final thought here. A friend of mine sent me this on Facebook. I think Katie said, you can't listen to Christmas music the same. And my buddy sent me, it's a picture of Frosty the Snowman. It says, wait till they realize Frosty has no pants and smokes a pipe in front of kids.
Well, and medicine truly is still and always has been meant to help people.
Well, end of the day, I got to tell you, I love the campaign. It's kind of like when I go home at night, this actually did happen once. I said, so what's for dinner to my wife? And she said, what do you mean by that? Well, I meant what's for dinner. But when this was early in our marriage, several years of therapy after that, I can actually now go home. I can present something to her and I don't get yelled at. But it's the same type of thing where you put out this ad, the condom or the prescription bottle, and all of a sudden people try to read into it and think that you're coming from a devious standpoint, when in reality, it's innocent. That's all. And I love the campaign. I think you guys have done a great job. And fun.
We're always coming from a point of fun. And sometimes it's ridiculous, and sometimes people don't get it. And we've got one more ad coming up where we're really featuring the DJs, because this year we have two DJs. We have Matt Tino, who's our resident DJ, and Derek J. And we shot a cool video with them. And some people aren't going to get it, but we all had fun. The staff had fun, and we don't care.
I mean, we shot a 3-minute promotional video for our New Year's Eve party. I mean, just the licensing of the music that we got for this video is going to show you how insane that we are.
Wow, that's cool. And ultimately, let's just not forget that you've now gotten 30 minutes of publicity about your New Year's Eve party here on the radio. You've absolutely accomplished your goal.
We were way ahead on spots today. We were way ahead.
No, all right, Francis and Katie, thank you so much. I'm a big fan of yours and what you guys do. So thanks for piping in this morning.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, of course.
All right, guys. In studio right now from the Utica Rescue Mission is Stephen Kowalski, with the president of Empire Recycling and the vice president of Utica Rescue Mission as well. And you guys have a big event that is coming up, big concert to benefit the rescue mission. What's going on, guys? Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, absolutely. Steve has stepped up to the plate and is sponsoring Skalbovian Circus of Dreams to put on a concert for us for next Tuesday. It's going to be at RCIL, and all the proceeds are going to benefit the work of the rescue mission.
Cool. So talk about the Slambovian Christmas, a very Slambovian Christmas. What can we expect?
Oh, we can expect hillbilly Pink Floyd on steroids. This is going to be incredible. Yeah, you've got to come to this concert. It's going to be incredible. They were one of the top bands at the Levitt Amp free concerts on Monday night in Utica, and we just had to bring them back. They're incredible. They do a Christmas show that is unlike anything anybody's ever experienced. It's really incredible. So it's going to be at the Dorothy Smith Center, the RCIL building, which is the former Temple Beth El building.
You do a really nice job there. I've been to wedding receptions there, and they do a great job. It's beautiful in there.
Well, speaking of wedding receptions there, my parents were married in that sanctuary.
Really?
Yes, I was bar mitzvahed in that sanctuary.
Wow.
I mean, our family goes way back. So here I am instrumentally bringing to that building a Christmas concert by this incredible rock and roll band.
That's really, really cool. It's $20 in advance at uticamission.org, $25 at the door. What will the money go towards? Obviously, just operating expenses.
So many things is we've talked in the past on the various programs there. I mean, you just spoke with Ocean Blue, with all that. I mean, we've got our Addiction Stabilization Center. This time of year, our emergency shelter is busting at the seams, taking care of all those folks. So there's a lot of programs at the mission that, this concert is going to benefit, and we're just blessed by that.
All right. And why did you guys get involved?
Well, I'm the vice president of the board of the Rescue Mission, but I'm a musician myself. I love good music, and I just wanted to bring. I have a personal relationship with some of the people in the band that I've had since the Levitt Amp concerts, actually before.
Yeah,
and
which are awesome concerts, by the way.
Oh,
great
amazing.
addition to the.
They're amazing
to the cultural makeup of the area. So.
Absolutely. And so we decided the morning after Levitt Amp, I says, I want to bring you guys back again to the area. Let's talk about it. What can we do? And they said, we do this incredible Christmas show. And I said, let's do it. So that was the impetus to bringing them back.
Very cool. Again, tickets are $20 in advance at utica.mission.org, $25 at the door. It is next Tuesday, the 18th at 6 p.m.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Great. Thank you.
And
Thank
again,
you.
for the Rescue Mission, this is a very busy time of year.
Absolutely.
If anybody can help in any way,
right,
just give you guys a call.
Yeah, absolutely. We need food for our big Christmas dinner. We need warm clothing this time of year.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
CNN Washington correspondent Ryan Nobles, of course, previously from here. Ryan, of course, worked at KTV. Did you work at UTR at all?
No, I didn't, but
your wife
my
did.
wife did.
Yeah.
Carrie did, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I did do some freelance work for WTR, now that I think about it. I did their Boilermaker coverage.
That's right. Now Ryan is at CNN. You might see him, by the way, you're just on a live shot just moments ago, as a matter of fact. So
Yes.
What's the big topic for you? Because there is just so much happening right now.
Well, I'm in North Carolina right now. That's what the live report I just did, which I think is just a huge story. And that's this election that took place in the 9th District down here, where there's a serious evidence that massive voter fraud was taking place. Election fraud, not voter fraud, where basically people were taken advantage of to cast absentee ballots in their name. And it could mean that there will be a new election for this House seat here in the coming weeks, which would be historic.
Which could be, which could happen in two different ways, right? The am I correct in saying the federal government could call for it, and so could the state? Am I correct with that?
So there's two. Yeah, well, there's two aspects to this. There's of course the general election, but there's also a primary where it's believed that there is evidence of election fraud that was involved as well. Now, at the state level, they can call for the general election, and they don't need help from anybody else. The election hasn't officially been certified. The State Board of Elections has that power. It looks like they'll do that. The primary is a bit more sticky because that would require the House of Representatives to get involved. And the question is, you're going to probably need help from both Democrats and Republicans to get that done. And there's really no motivation for Democrats to ask for the primary to be redone because they'd love the Republican candidate who right now has the lead in this race to continue to be the candidate because he's the one connected to the election fraud. So my guess is a general election's almost an inevitability, a redo of that. The primary might be a bit more difficult.
So the background on this, though, is there's this guy, right, that is like the guru of elections. And when you want to get elected, and both parties have used this guy, when you want to get elected here, you pay this guy. And a lot of it is a little shady. And he goes out and he will go door to door and collect those absentee ballots, and he'll take them in. And, oh, by the way, don't fill them out yet. I'll fill them out for you. That's kind of what has gone on here.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's what he's accused of. So this guy's named McCrae Dowless. There's no belief that he has an ideological bent of any way. I've
just money.
Heard him described multiple times by people who live down here that he's a mercenary, he's a paid hire.
Yep.
He will go to the highest bidder. And basically what he does is he knows literally every single person in this tiny county in North Carolina. He knows which ones are active politically, which ones aren't. He has a team of people that he pays. They go out and they get these people to apply for their absentee ballots. I found yesterday examples of people who he had applied for absentee ballots without them even knowing about it.
Yeah.
And then he goes and physically picks them up and casts those ballots. Now, that's illegal in North Carolina. You can't have one person go and collect hundreds of absentee ballots. You have to personally file your absentee ballot on your own. So
and
that
for
by
this
itself,
for this very reason, because
Does this guy claim to be a consultant? Is that his kind of cover-up job?
He's a political guy.
Political strategist?
you know what he is he's just a guy in town who knows how to do this.
Yep.
Like, it's not as if he has some sort of white shoe firm where he has distinct knowledge about all of this. This is just a guy who was into politics at a young age, figured out this kind of angle and a way to make money off of it, and has done it for decades for both Republicans and Democrats. And the difference was that up until now, no one had really paid that much of attention to him because the elections were never that close.
Right.
Well, this time around, the results are less than 1,000 votes, and he may have had a role in flipping more than the outcome at stake here, which is why the State Board of Elections may have an opening to call for a new election.
And what is interesting is that you bring up the ideology, and he doesn't really have any one way or the other. It's all about who's going to hire him. So right now, the Democrats are crying foul, but previously, Republicans have yelled about this guy. But it is like literally you can see an effect when he's in a campaign. You can see the results. The results follow his work, and it's not
Bill,
legal.
let me tell you this. He's thought to be so effective at this particular type of vote-gathering operation that I've been told by Republicans down here that the incumbent Republican who lost the primary to Mark Harris, who's the individual that hired McCrae Dowless, considered hiring McCrae Dowless just to have him sit on the sidelines and not be involved.
Wow.
Because he knew that he couldn't, that, the way he did this was against the law, but that it was still effective and that he always gets away with it. So that's how well known he is and how people realize that he knows how to get this done and how it has real tangible impacts on elections in this part of the country.
I want to say we're going to try to take you right to the top of the hour, Ryan. We're going to lose TV coming up in just a moment. I want to say I have a pair of tickets. Do you need to take a break?
I do.
Oh, okay.
I thought I put a sheet up there. I'm sorry.
You did. Oh, I've already passed that time.
Past it.
I have a pair of Comets Providence Bruins tickets for tonight's game. Great seats. The Comets and the Bruins tonight at the Utica at the Adirondack Bank Center. Caller number 5, Davey. Right now, we'll get the tickets for tonight's game. 315-736-0186. There's like an AHL record right now for sellouts right now, Ryan. It's crazy for these games. Yeah. All right, we do have to let you go. I'm told he's giving me the eye. It's not a good one either. So we got to go. I'll talk to you next week.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you, Ryan. All right.
Have a great one. Bye-bye.
All right, we're back here tomorrow morning. Enjoy your day.